SEO world, we call it EEAT, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. So you need to be hitting all those 4 markers for Google to not just see your site, but to decide to rank it and to mention it in the AI tools.
Hi everyone, Elle Ballard is here today on our Empowered Global Women in Business podcast with my guest, Cinthia Pacheco. Hi Cinthia, welcome.
Hey, Elle, how's it going?
Good to see you. I'm excited. This will be an interesting
Yes.
conversation. Before we jump on, I'm going to introduce Cinthia. Cinthia Pacheco is the owner and founder of Digital Bloom IQ, digital marketing agency for small businesses ready to change the world. She and her team are passionate about supporting businesses that want to make an impact and grow their vision. After working in the corporate world with companies like Avon, Sears, and Hyundai, she transitioned into helping small and medium-sized businesses, focusing on creating a digital marketing agency that specializes in SEO. When she's not working, you can find her baking with her daughter, hanging with her partner, or watching Gilmore Girls on her couch. Welcome.
Thank you.
Awesome. And so the first question I usually like to ask after introduction, of course, is what sparked the SEO, your business in SEO. And I know we briefly shared. I'd love to talk about AIO. That's where you're heading as well. But yeah, how did it all come? This passion.
So it was not planned at all. I actually stumbled around on SEO when I started my business at the beginning. I started doing Google Analytics services for small businesses, and that was very much because coming out of my corporate job, I was doing web analytics, and it was the skill that I knew how to do. And I saw an opportunity because a lot of small businesses do tend to avoid their web analytics, and they don't really know how to use them to make decisions. And then I realized quickly that small businesses have very tight budgets. And although web analytics is really important and they have to be looking at that, it was a much better fit to combine it with another marketing service that had a bigger impact to having a small business grow and to attract new clients. And that's where SEO came in, because it's the perfect combination of psychology, of understanding the keywords, of understanding how visitors are using Google and now these AI tools. So you have to think through, like, why would someone search that? What are they looking for? What are their needs? And there is like a human psychology aspect of that. Mm-hmm. And then there's the technical side, which is your website. And, websites are made of code. And I had that knowledge as well. And you need to know what makes a website not just load fast, but just a pleasant experience. And so it was the perfect combination of both my skills, of multiple skills. And I just found it was deeply impactful, and just also maybe an area of business that women in particular, a marketing option that a lot of women business owners run away from, shy away from, because it feels more technical. It feels more hard to understand. And there's a lot of male SEO experts. That's changing. Like, there's a lot of women, female SEO experts, but I wanted to be a friendly face to the female founder, to the female small business owner who maybe wanted a different perspective and different way of explaining some of these SEO concepts that can feel a little bit overwhelming. So there was just a few different things. And it's kind of like when you adopt a dog, it chooses you. I feel like SEO chose me.
Yeah. I love it. I love that. Yeah, and it's so true. It's so needed. So I love that you do that for women. And you're right. Typically, it's not the first thing that we look at, but it's just so needed. And now with the AI emergence, I wanted to talk about how that is in the picture. How that, like, how does it come together? And I love the term you used, AIO. How is that all come together now, and how do you bring it together in your business for your clients?
So the AI technology, we've known. It's existed for a long time. But in the last few years, it has become more of trending, and it's just the way we're able to use AI tools. It's much more comfortable, let's say, or just it's become more of like a day-to-day tool. Like I think we all have had that experience of, yeah, planning things. It just that conversation, like it's incredible. So in terms of Google, I mean, all these technology companies are looking at how to survive, right? And they all want to become the tool to go to. So it makes sense for Google as the number one, Google owns 99% of the market share of search. Second you have Bing, but Google is the biggest player. They're going to
Mhm.
look at how are we going to incorporate AI, and we want to still be at the top of the game, right? So in terms of SEO, it's just like you said, it's like blended together. And what we're doing with our clients, it's actually not that different from what we do in like a traditional SEO, if you will, but it is just like a more advanced SEO strategy. So
Mm.
because
Mhm.
keywords are longer, now we're not searching like best retreat experience or something like that. We are searching, I want to go on a retreat, I want this and this, and we're getting used to, like, it's almost like the tool itself is training us to search really long. So keyword strategies are
Mm.
changing because we have very long keywords, and we're not going to be so focused on like specific phrases like we were before. Content quality is still, and it's going to continue to be very important. And the other kind of pillar I would mention is authority. So it used to be the case that anybody could create a site and you could write about anything, even if you didn't know about it. And you could say, well, I think that, yeah, to run the best retreat, and I've never run a retreat, I do this and this and this. And you can't do that anymore because Google looks at where have you been mentioned for retreats? Are you an expert in retreats?
Mm.
Do you have experience in retreats? In an SEO world, we call it EEAT, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. So you need to be hitting all those four markers for Google to not just see your site, but to decide to rank it and to mention it in the AI tools. So it is a lot harder. I mean, if you're already a really authentic business owner who is doing all the good marketing things, you're going to be mentioned by other people. But now it's more important than ever to be looking at how are we getting those backlinks and those authority pieces from other sites and other authoritative sites. So those, I would say, are like the most important three areas when you're thinking about combining your SEO and your AIO strategy.
Interesting, interesting. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my background is marketing, so it's just all so interesting. And
So interesting and
yeah,
overwhelming, super overwhelming.
yeah,
I'll be honest,
yeah.
I
It's
at the beginning, I mean, I signed up for ChatGPT very quickly and when it launched, but I've
yeah.
always been very cautious and very shy to really
Mm-hmm.
get into it. Now, I use it every day for multiple personal and work things, but I'm always looking at it with a critical eye. And I think that is the way to use a tool like ChatGPT or any of the, Gemini, whatever you're using. And I think a lot of people are overwhelmed by it, and that's okay.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah,
that's totally acceptable.
yeah. And it's growing so fast too
It's
now.
happening very fast.
It's
Yes.
just all this new AI tools coming up where we
Yeah.
are just getting used to the whole idea
Yeah.
of having it in our lives.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that you help with that. That's just so needed in today's world. And I like how you mentioned, interestingly, the whole thought leadership behind it, how
hmm
they pick up the presence, the
hmm
online world presence. Interesting, yeah.
Right.
And longer keywords. I know we have a giveaway for our audience. And I want to talk about that a little bit. In one of the questions that, based on what we are talking about, what would be, I guess, one, because it's all complex. I have so many questions, but the first one I want to really go to, what is the first thing like you see your clients are dealing with, and what is the first thing that you would recommend to optimize if it's a small business, um, or to optimize their SEO, and also maybe adding, what if it's not an online only business? What if it's a
Local
specific
basis. Mhm.
location? Yeah, brick and
Yeah.
mortar business. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good question. So the top thing I see a lot of clients come to me with, and it's not always the case, but they say, "Well, I want to grow my business. I want to show up in Google or in AI, but they don't know what's working right now. Like they have no awareness around like, am I actually showing up on Google?" And we
Right.
open up their search console, their Google Search Console, which is free. I'm going to talk about that in a second, but it's a free tool you can use, and we find out, hey, they're already on page one for some keywords. And it's kind of like this beautiful surprise because, like I said, they've already been doing a lot of good marketing practices. And the cool thing about SEO compared to other marketing is that Google will pick up on your website, on your social media presence, whether you choose it to or not, unless you do something very intentional for it not to see you. It will just naturally, and that's why it's called organic, SEO, search marketing, organic. It will
Mhm.
organically kind of capture and understand and start to understand what your business is about and what you're about as well. And so I think the first step is to gain that awareness. Like we can't grow what we don't measure. And so
Yeah.
the thing that I recommend is setting up your search console and your Google Analytics as early on in your business as you can. And if you haven't set it up yet, just do it. It doesn't matter where you are in the journey, because that's going to help you gain awareness around not just where you're getting traffic from, but where you're getting sales, what people are doing on your site, what people are just doing overall. And it's going to just give you more options that you can take.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. That's great. And then I know we have a giveaway
Yes. So if
for.
you want some help with that, I have a
Uh-huh.
free training that teaches you step by step how to set this up. And I also teach you some basics, basic. You don't need to be a statistician or anything. I don't have a statistics degree, to like understanding your reporting. So I walk through some really basic reports to get started and to become excited. And I know that sounds kind of funny to say that because a lot of people think about Google Analytics and they're like, oh, like, don't make me look at it. But once you get into it, it can actually be really exciting because you can see, hey, this is what's working, and I can make decisions on what's working versus you're just kind of guessing. You're like, well, I think this is working. Like some people tell me this, some people tell me that. Like I get this sense, but you don't actually know. And
Mm-hmm.
you can even set up Google Analytics to tell you when people are signing up for your newsletter or when they're buying something, and you can tie that back to your marketing. So it's a very, very powerful tool, and it's free. It's completely free, which is
Mm-hmm.
incredible.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for offering that tool to
Yeah.
us. And so we'll post a link to that tool in the comments of this if you're watching on YouTube, or Spotify will post it, or our podcast as well. So that's great. So
Perfect.
thank you for
Yeah,
that. And
of
as
course.
we are all speaking about the links and everything, how do people find you? And I know we'll share those as well, the website, and but maybe you
Yeah,
can share it here out loud as well.
sure. Yeah, so you can go to digitalbloomiq.com, and there we've got a bunch of different resources on SEO and digital marketing. And you can also check out the Instagram. Digital Bloom IQ is the handle. And I would say that's one of the more active social media platforms we're on. And I also have a podcast, which is called Digitally Overwhelmed. And I talk about all things digital marketing. Yeah, we go through different topics, but it's mostly digital marketing and SEO.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so I want to transition a little bit into. I know you come from Canada, now living
Hmm.
in Argentina. I
Yes.
loved Argentina, my Argentina experience last year in Buenos Aires when I was
Yes.
visiting. It was, yeah, it was beautiful. We were dancing tango, and but I wanted to, yeah, and so I wanted to talk about this whole global. Business building, and you are a perfect example of doing that successfully, and having team members in different
Hmm.
countries. And I wanted to talk about how has this experience been for you, maybe some of the lessons you learned that you could share with our listeners who are planning to move countries or relocate to another
Hmm.
while building their businesses. And I would imagine in the same country, if it's a different state, like in the US, of course, simpler than moving completely
Yeah.
in different time zone, different language, completely
Yeah.
different country. But I love that in today's world, right? Like we can do that. We are able to do that. There's having this flexibility, building our businesses online. What are some of the lessons that you learned when you moved and relocated, and then you opened your business in Argentina, and now building it from there?
Yeah. Yeah. So it wasn't planned to live here. So,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, so I'm born in Argentina, in Buenos Aires.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then when I was about a year and a half, my parents immigrated to Canada. And so I have both, Canada and Argentina citizenships. And I was brought up in Canada, but inside of a Argentine family. So that already creates a little bit of a mix because, a lot of
Yeah.
people ask me about Canadian food. And I say, honestly, like I am mostly brought up on Argentine food because that's what we would cook in our house. And all my, Canada's, depending on where you're from in Canada, I was brought up in Toronto, which is a very cosmopolitan and multicultural city, mostly immigrants. All my friends are not first generation Canadians. They're second or third or, further down. And so I was just always brought up very multicultural, and I love that. So after
Mm-hmm.
university, so many years after I graduated from university, I graduated with a fine arts degree, and I wanted to work in galleries. But I wasn't really having a good time finding a job, in any galleries. It's a very tight knit world, the gallery world.
Mm-hmm.
And I had gone back to Argentina many times with my parents. And I just kept thinking, I want to spend more time with my grandparents and with my aunts because I loved going back to Argentina. I felt a big connection there. And so I made a decision coming out of university. I'm just going to take 6 months off and I'm going to go and spend time, right? Which is, I think, a very natural thing after university. You just don't want any structure.
Yep.
You just want to travel. I was 21, different phase of life as I am now. And I never thought, okay, I'm going to move back to Argentina. It was more like, I just want to travel. I want to see the world. And I did that. I went to Argentina, but I also traveled to Brazil a lot. I traveled within Argentina. In those 6 months, I spent a lot of time with my family. And I had a return ticket, like a plane ticket coming back at 6 months. And I just thought, I don't want to go back. And then the year rolled around and then it was still like, and so I started thinking, okay, how can I live here? Because I had my family, but I didn't have, I guess I did actually start looking for museum jobs in Buenos Aires in Argentina. But again, same problem, very tight knit, like hard to crack into unless you have a contact. And
Mm-hmm.
so the easiest job for me to do was teach English. So I taught English, and that was great for years because it gave me so much flexibility. And I did do a lot of, initially, I did do a lot of web development on the side as well. So I was freelancing, but web development, I was getting kind of bored of coding. Like if you're a coder and you code, it's like that's what you're meant to do, right? And I knew I was meant for something else. And I actually started playing soccer, which is very popular here, as you probably know. I was
Mm-hmm.
playing soccer with women, and they were a lot of women from all over the world. And one of the women was a headhunter, and she got to know me and my profile, and that I had tech skills, but I, spoke perfect English in Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
And she was trying to convince me to get a tech job. And I kept saying to her, no, I don't want a corporate job. Like I really didn't want, like I was just so happy, 20 years old, teaching some English, doing soccer, just living my life. And I finally went in for an interview, and the next day she had two corporate jobs ready for me, and I accepted one of them, which was this web analytics consulting position. I
Mm-hmm.
think the learning there is like, you never know what contact is gonna, like, how did I know that I was gonna get a job from going to play soccer with like a group of women that I was just having such a good
Yeah.
time on? So you just never know like where a good contact and your network. And I'm sure you know that, Elle, too. Like you don't need to go necessarily to a networking event to network. You can just go
Yeah.
out, live your life,
Yeah.
talk to people, have fun, and
Mm-hmm.
people will see you, and the right people will see, what you're meant to do, and they will help you. And I was actually resistant to it, but this person convinced me, and I'm so grateful for that opportunity. So I was in this corporate job, but that job changed my life, and it changed my career trajectory because it opened me up to this whole world of web analytics, which at that time was very new. Like even
Mm-hmm.
for large corporations, it was fairly new for them to track their websites and to understand what the visitors were doing. And that also opened me up into this international world because this company was actually South African. Most of the there were clients in the US and North America, and they had a lot of clients in Europe. I was in Argentina. The clients were in North America. And then the company itself was South African, like the C suite and my boss. And I never thought that that was
It was
possible.
very
But
global. Yeah, that
yeah.
company. Yeah,
And so after a few
that's great.
years, and you develop relationships with your clients, and I started thinking, why can't I just do this for my own? The client's happy with my work.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously I have to figure out how to get the client, but I saw that it was possible to really run your
Yeah.
business from anywhere. And so after 4 years of that, I quit and I said, I want to do this for myself. And now it's been 10 years after I've been able to build my agency, and my team is all over the world. So most of the team is here with me in Argentina, and then we've got a few team members in Spain, and then we've got one team member in the Philippines. So anything's possible. Like the setup of it can be anything you want, anything that feels, I guess, right for you.
Well, too bad we didn't meet. So next time when I visit, we'll
Yes,
definitely have
absolutely.
to meet in
Let me
Argentina.
know when you come
Yeah,
next time.
because we didn't. Yeah, I
We'll
didn't.
make an asado, a
Yes, yes, yes,
barbecue.
yes. Yeah, yeah. I love this. Yeah, I love it. It just goes back to just really, it's so possible to build what we want to build in life and business,
Yeah,
and how we envision it, how we can just putting the pieces together. Yeah,
yeah,
it's so interesting how your pieces came together too throughout your experience. Beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that. In building this business now, living in a different country, well, the country you're from, but
yeah,
back in the country you're from,
yeah.
but working with different teams globally, different
Mhm.
businesses, and you cater to small businesses. In building the business as a woman on your own terms, what are some of the maybe one big lesson? I know there are so many lessons, but maybe something stands out that you could share with our audience who are building their businesses too.
Yeah, so I would say, and this is something I'm still working on, to be honest, because when I came out of corporate, and it's been a while, but I was very much brainwashed with this like workaholic culture. And
Yeah.
I'm also thankful to it a little bit because I think that that drive is what helped me build my own company, my own agency. But I've had to really work hard at having the business be part of a lifestyle that I want to live, and not the other way around, because it's so easy to
Hmm.
be consumed by. And when you own your own business, I mean, it can happen when you're working for someone or for you're working for yourself, but I think it's important to be really clear and to continue to connect with what is the lifestyle I want to have. That also
Hmm.
includes my business. So right now, I have a 3-year-old daughter and my
Oh,
lifestyle is being with her and having
yeah.
space to play, not just play, but having lots of flexibility, because kids require a lot of energy as well. So maybe it is at this phase actually working not as many hours as I used to work, and I'm able to do that
Yeah.
because I built a business over time. If I was starting from scratch today, it still would be possible, but it would look very different. And so I'm constantly thinking, like, where do I want to spend my time, and like what is most meaningful for me to be reaching my business goals and also spending that quality time, and taking care of myself, taking care of my partner, and yeah, feeling fulfilled, feeling satisfied, because sometimes working more hours doesn't necessarily move the needle. But I will say it's hard challenge, because I tend to just be like, well, just do more and more.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
easy to go to that
Yeah.
place.
Me
um
too. Such a
and
habit.
right. And it's like, well, maybe actually I need a walk. Like maybe I don't need to
Mm.
spend 30, maybe I need some air. Today I was finishing up a proposal for a potential client, and I felt like it wasn't quite ready, but I couldn't figure out why. And so I stepped away, and maybe past Cinthia would have been like, no, finish it now, send it now, like just get it done. And I'm so grateful I stepped away, and I had a call, and I came back later, and I was like, oh, this is what, there was like this crucial part that was missing that this person had asked me about. And now I'm like, I'm just so much more better at like tuning into my intuition, which I feel as women, we have so much magic and power.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
we're untraining ourselves out of these habits that are not more effective to business growth. So again, that lifestyle should support that magic and that feminine wisdom, instead
Mm-hmm.
of forcing it, or I don't know, just doing something that doesn't feel very, very magical.
Yes,
Like forcing
absolutely.
yourself to write
Yes.
it.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I'm so like 100%, 100%. Yes. I find that we actually find more energy in doing things, more
Yeah.
desire in doing things if we
Yeah.
slow down and and there are days, yeah, yeah, there are
Yeah.
days where it's just such a habit to just get it done, just
Yeah.
go, 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 go. Yeah.
Yeah. If that's
But
always the
thank you.
default,
Yeah.
it can get
Uh-huh.
draining.
Default.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there
Mm-hmm.
are things I think you have to kind of make yourself do.
Yeah.
I think there are moments for that,
Yeah, for
but then
sure.
there's
Mm-hmm.
moments of like, this doesn't feel right. What's another way? I don't know. Just, and I also, tying in Argentina, the culture here, and it is slightly more slow paced than North
Yeah.
American culture.
Mm-hmm.
People here take naps during the heat seasons, and when we sit at the table, it's like custom to wait once you're done to sit and let your digestion happen and keep
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
There's all this like family and community traditions, and that was very healing for me. I think that's one of the reasons I live here, is that it's very healing to have that slowness and that time with the other person face to face, that sometimes we don't. Well, in North America, and I don't want to generalize because I know there's so many different cultures, but I was feeling a little bit disconnected from some of that. So,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
that's just so important.
Yeah, so important. Yeah, just enjoying every piece of food
Yeah.
or every piece
The
of
food is
conversation.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or the tango steps when we are
Yes.
in Argentina.
Being held, right? Tango's all about letting the other person
Yeah,
hold you
it's
if you're in the
true.
follower position,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah,
there's just so much healing that I think we need to make,
yeah.
and it can be just very potent.
Beautiful, beautiful. You just took me back there. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love it. Awesome. Okay. Well, if thank you for sharing all of that. That's just so it's just speaking my language, of the business and life. Like why do we build business to have
Right.
this fulfilled life? Okay, so we're gonna move on to the rapid fire questions.
Sure.
If you're ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Awesome. Okay, my first question is your favorite book name is?
My favorite book name. Well, right now I'm reading the Outlander series, which I'm loving, and I'm reading
Okay.
Voyager.
Awesome. Beach or mountains?
Mountain.
Okay. Okay. Summer or winter?
Summer, definitely.
Yeah. Your favorite international destination to visit?
Does it have to be somewhere I've visited? Like
Yeah,
I've
it
been
could
there.
be. It doesn't have to be.
Oh, I really want to go to
Maybe there's
Korea.
something.
I'm obsessed with
Korea.
Korea. Yeah.
Yeah? You
Yeah.
haven't been.
I haven't been, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna go. I want to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's actually yeah, I might actually go before the end of this year. It's on my
Oh.
list too. Interestingly. Yeah, 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 that's cool. And the final question is things that you have discovered about yourself recently.
When you're a mom, you discover all these things.
Yeah.
Um, I've discovered that I have a lot of anxiety, which sounds odd, but
Mm,
I think
mhm.
that I am like working on recognizing my anxiety, and being okay with it and not covering it
Yeah.
up, and finding ways to heal it, but by acceptance instead of pushing it away. So
Thank you for playing.
I
Thank you
love
for
that.
being on the podcast. I really enjoyed our conversation. I love talking about cultures, and it's just
Yes.
so interesting to me always, and different businesses that women are building today, and yours is really such unique and there's so much future in it, and
Hmm.
so definitely listeners connect with Cynthia and learn more about everything that's happening in this digital marketing world and SEO. Thank you so much, Cynthia. Nice to meet you. Hope to see you one day in
Yeah.
Argentina over coffee.
Thank you, Elle. This was so much fun.
It was so much fun. I'll see you soon. Thank you very much.